Worried about retirement? Don't be. I've been retired now for 28 years, and these have been probably the most productive, most rewarding, most satisfying years of my life. They can be for you too. Of course, there's a few things to take care of first, and you've probably been told, go into retirement without any big debts. Have your mortgage paid off. Don't have thousands of dollars on your credit cards. In other words, go into retirement pretty well with no outstanding worries about finance as far as owing people things at that time. Of course, now you've got to look after yourself for the rest of your life. This is the time, of course, to see a financial advisor. But I don't want to talk about that because I don't know too much about the financial side of things, other than that I've been retired, as I said, for 28 years, took voluntary redundancy at 59 and am now 87. So what are the things that we can talk about in retirement? I think one of the things is, this came home to me many years ago when my daughter, who was then in her teens, said to me when I was in my middle age, she said, "Dad, what's it like to be middle-aged?" And I said, "Do you mean young middle age or old middle age?" Well, that sort of threw her for a while. But the point is, there is young middle age and old middle age, and young retirement and old retirement. Now, I'm getting towards old retirement now, I know that. But when I was young middle age, that young middle age is between your late 30s and late 40s, and old middle age is between late 40s and late 50s, if I might put it that way. At 40, I was selected to go on an Antarctic expedition. I was fit, I was healthy, I was really with it. And of the 20 expeditioners who went south with me, there were 2 of us who were 40 and 1 was 50. So don't ever get the idea that 50 is getting old. It's not. You can be very, very fit and well at 50. But to get back to what I was talking about, if you retire at young old age, you have plenty of time to really enjoy your life. Because if you retire at, say, your late 50s, early 60s, you'll have 10, 15, maybe 20 years of good, active life ahead of you. Once you get over 80, though, you tend to slow down a bit. Now, what's another thing I'd like to mention about retirement? Normally, most of us, our families have grown up and moved away, and if our wife is still with us, our partner's still with us, whether it be a man or a woman, we are still okay. We're not lonely. But even with that 2 people thrown together, full time, perhaps for the first time in their lives, because earlier on you'd have both been going out of the home to do things, and you wouldn't have seen so much of each other. Now you are together 24/7. That can be a bit of a challenge. What I suggest is that each of you, when you're retired, have your own space within a home, some room where you can shut the door and be alone and separate from the other person. This is your inner sanctum. I have one. I've always had to study. Sometimes it's been just a little alcove in the corner, but somewhere I can be alone to do my own things, which in those days used to be writing letters or typing up things before computers, typing things up on a typewriter, because I'm a writer and love writing, and a writer needs solitude to be able to do that. No interference. Preferably no telephone jangling away either. So that's one thing I do recommend, that if you are retired and you've downsized, Don't downsize to the point that you are contained, both of you, within the same room all the time. Have somewhere where you can go and be private. So those two things I think are fairly important. Retire early. 3 things. Have no debts and have a little place somewhere in the home, somewhere in the house, or even a shed down the back where you can go and be by yourself from time to time. I hope you got something out of this video. I keep coming up with new ideas to post, and I hope they're all of use to you as a retiree.